Hi, eighth grade parents. Welcome to World Religion class at Bishop Seabury. This is the eighth grade social studies class for Bishop Seabury, and my name is Reverend Heather Coates, and I will be teaching your students this year. So I hope I'm looking forward to being with them. I've already gotten to know them a little bit so far, and they're just great. So I world religions is something that I personally am very interested in. I spend time thinking and reading about it myself, and I'm just so pleased to be able to spend a year with these young people who are so curious and who want to learn and help them learn more about this very interesting part of the world. So I'm going to spend some time in this video showing you where we started and where we are going. We started last week, the first week of school, with the world religion map, sort of looking at the physical map of the world with where the religions are in the world. And so we have a key over here with different colors representing different traditions. And this is a pretty basic map looking at what is the largest percentage of believers in a country. And so if you were able to open up this map more, you would be able to see that there's all sorts of different kinds of believers in different places. And so say India, there's Hinduism is the largest religion, but if you went to India, you would meet Muslim people and Christian people and Jain people and Sikh people. And so we are starting with this map, but throughout the year we are going to go more in depth on what the world looks like. We also started out looking at percentage wise, what is the largest religion, and kind of work our way down. And this is shown in two different graphs here, a pie chart and a bar graph. And so Christians being the largest tradition and Muslims being the second largest. And I think this surprised some of the students, the unaffiliated being the third largest group of people in the world. This information is from the Pew Research Center. They did a major study of world religions in 2015. And if you're interested in world religions, I recommend you go to their website and look at this information. They've done all sorts of charts and graphs and give you information in lots of different ways about who the religions are and where they're going in the future. And so that's where we began. And today, this week, the second week of school, we started looking at the 8 elements of world religions. This is a way that I have the students categorize the different traditions. And it's a way for them to organize the information that they're given. So in each tradition that we study, for each of the world religions, we're gonna have 8 different elements or 8 different categories where they can plug in information. And so it'll help them compare the religions and see what's different or unique, and also maybe what's the same about different traditions. And so today we started with the first element, worldview, and asked, what is a religious worldview? So when a particular tradition, or if a person from a particular tradition looks at the world, how do they view the world? How do they understand the world? And one of the ways that religions do this is by trying to answer big questions. There's some big questions that people all over the world ask, whether they're religious or not. Um, Not it doesn't depend on what religion they belong to. There's just some big questions people ask. Questions like, what happens after I die? How is the world created? Why do we suffer? Why is this world so hard to be in? And so we started to think about these big questions in class today. And we're going to, when we get to the different traditions, we're going to look at how the different traditions answer, or at least strive to answer, these questions. So that's our worldview, answering these big questions that people have in life. Our second element of world religions is community. Who are the people that belong to this religious tradition? Where do they live? Where on the map do they live? And what other kind of groupings can we find within the tradition. Here is a group of Buddhist monks at a monastery. This is a community within a community. The third element of world religions we're going to look at this year are central myths. Myth here does not mean untrue. These are the stories that religions tell, and all religions tell stories about, say, the creation of the world, about God or the gods and goddesses. They tell stories about morality, how we are to live in the world, tell stories about how the world works. And we're going to learn lots and lots of stories this year. I think it's a really important part of the traditions and teach us a lot about who these traditions are. I've chosen a famous painting by Rembrandt here of Abraham and Isaac, one of the central stories, one of the central myths of the Jewish and Christian tradition of God asking Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac. The fourth element of world religions that we're going to look at are the ethics, how we should live in the world, what are the rules that religions ask us to follow. And all religions have this. There's a code of conduct or a way we need to be in the world, a way we need to interact with each other. Here's a piece of art portraying the Islamic practice of zakat, which is one of the pillars of the Islamic faith. That all Muslim people are called to give to the poor. That is one of the ethics of that tradition. There are the Ten Commandments are an ethic from the Judeo-Christian world, originating in the Jewish tradition. There are the precepts of the Jain tradition. So we're going to look at the morality that each of the traditions teaches. The fifth world religion, the fifth category we'll look at are ritual. What are the traditions that the people in the community are invited to act out so they can connect with God or the gods, with the higher power, and also how are we invited to gather as a community? I chose two photographs here of some traditions, some rituals. So this first photograph on the left is from the Hajj, which is the pilgrimage that Muslim people are called to make once in their life if they are able. And they travel to Mecca and walk in the footsteps of Muhammad and in the footsteps of the people from the Quran, in the myths of the Quran, the essential myths of the Quran. And here is it was a unique year this year at the Hajj. This is the Hajj 2020, and this is the main mosque in Mecca, where usually there's thousands of people in this mosque. Here is the Kaaba, and the people are called to circle this black box 7 times, and usually they're all shoulder to shoulder, thousands of people there. But this year, because of COVID, it was a social distanced. I don't know how you won the lottery to get to go on the Hajj this year, but hopefully this is the only time we will see a photo like this. Next year, I hope everyone can go who would like to go. And over here on the right, we have a boy becoming a man in the Jewish tradition, celebrating his bar mitzvah, the reading of the Torah, and again, another ritual that a tradition has. And so these rituals might be daily rituals of prayer, they might be weekly rituals of gathering for worship, they could be yearly rituals of holiday and holy days. And so how do people come together to connect to that higher power? The 6th characteristic of world religions that we have are the characteristic emotional experiences, and these are the feelings that people feel. These are the things that people hope to feel, or do feel when they're practicing a particular tradition. So on the left, I have a Buddhist statue, a statue of the Buddha that says, with the words inner peace next to it. And when people meditate in the Buddhist tradition, it's one of their goals is to find an inner peace. And then over here, I have 3 words: love, joy, and peace. And these are emotions that Christians believe when you open yourself to the Spirit, that they will settle into you: love, joy, and peace. The seventh characteristic of religions, of world religions, are or element of world religions, are material expressions. These are the stuff, kind of the that we can see and smell and taste, kind of things we experience with our senses. Maybe here is a drum from the Native American world used in rituals. And here's a Hindu statue. There's lots of statues of Hindu gods and goddesses that you can see throughout the tradition. Here are the orange robes of the Buddhist monks that they wear when they're part of that tradition and part of those orders. You also notice they're without shoes. Sometimes the absence of stuff can be a material expression. And a material expression might also be something like architecture. Here's a mosque in the Muslim world. It could also be food that is cooked for a holiday or for a ritual. It could be candles. It could be even it could be candles in the different temples. So there's lots and lots of different ways that people show their adherence to a religion by the stuff they have in their homes, maybe the clothing they wear, and the buildings they build, things like that. And the last one is sacredness. There are things that are set apart as especially holy by all traditions, and these are what they call sacred. And this is our eighth and final element of world religions. So I have here the Holy Bible, the Word of God, and the Christian tradition. In the middle photo here, I have the Wailing Wall that you would find if you traveled to Jerusalem, which is the last remaining wall of the Jewish temple that was destroyed, that people go and pray at. And up here, I have a photo of what we call in the United States we call Devil's Tower, but it's called it's called the Bear Claw. Or the Hill of the Bear by the Lakota people, and those supposed to be like the bear clawed the hill to get up it, and that is one of the. It is a sacred place in the world, so it might be a material expression. It might be a place in the world, a landscape. It can even be a sound, the holy Om sound for the Buddhist and the Hindu world. And so these are our eight elements that we are looking at and the way we are categorizing and learning the traditions this year. So I wanted to show those to you, and also let you know that each quarter the students will be able to choose something from these different traditions that we are studying that quarter, and do a project to do a deep dive. So be looking forward to them doing some sort of project for me each quarter, and we will just, I hope, have a really good time together and study these religions, and study and look at what makes people around the world, what people put their faith in, and what they hope for in life, historically and today. So if you have any questions about that, if you have any comments or concerns throughout the year, please feel free to reach out to me. I am a part-time employee at Bishop Seabury. I'm there in the mornings, but I'm on email. And so please reach out to me through email, or I'm at the school in the mornings. And I hope to get to know you and your eighth graders this year. Take care. Thank you.